Hey everybody, it's Kneecap here, and welcome to This Week in WoW for the week of October 18th. As always, we'll start with the Mythic Plus affixes here on Retail World of Warcraft. We have Fortified, Spiteful, Necrotic, and Shrouded. Again, that's Fortified, Spiteful, Necrotic, and Shrouded. Fortified Necrotic is not one of the most favorite things. It also has Spiteful. It's definitely not one of the most favorite weeks. It's not going to be a very played week. Although I have seen some tides turning on this. As far as some of the higher end game people have actually been pushing on Necrotic Week, I've noticed. And I heard on a WoW podcast that some of the higher end people have actually been pushing on Necrotic Weeks. So the nerfs to Necrotic have helped a lot. However, the perception of Necrotic is still there, and therefore I do not think that'll be an overly played key. It also does make you change the way you play as a tank, and Mythic Plus is already way too burdening, too big of a burden on the tanks, in my opinion. So it still won't be a very played week at all, but it's not that it's impossible. It's just that there's a bad perception out there, and it is like annoying, right? Even if it's not as terrible as it used to be, it's still kind of annoying. So that's where we are with that. Let's go ahead and talk about what's going on in game this week in Retail World of Warcraft. Probably the biggest news is that Hallow's End starts this week. So Hallow's End is, obviously the Halloween holiday of World of Warcraft. This lasts for a couple weeks, and it's actually one of my favorites as well as far as these holidays go. I'm not overly hyped about any of them, but it's pretty cool. I do have a 5-year-old son who will dabble in World of Warcraft occasionally, and he likes to go get the trick-or-treat wands and stuff like that, right? So there's like little neat things to do as far as that goes. Also, if you've never done it before, it's always kind of cool to do it your first time, even as an adult, right? You can still get like a childlike joy out of doing it for your first time if you've never actually done this stuff before. So it's one of the better holidays. It's always something they could expand on. They could expand the lore of the Headless Horseman if they wanted to, for example. It's always something that they could do more with, just like any of these holidays, really. And so, yeah, it's just one of my favorite ones. So it's worth talking about a little bit extra than I would a normal one. This is also the last week that we're going to have a rotation for the Fated Raids. This last week will be Sepulchre of the First One's Fated. So, you'll not be able to do Sepulchre without Fated from this point forward, actually. So, Sepulchre is Fated, and it will be Fated until, Dragonflight releases in just about a month, actually, excuse me. So that's just the way that is. PvP Brawl is Shadowpan Showdown. I don't think anyone really cares about that. And then the time walking for this week is Cataclysm Time Walking. This is one of the better ones. I really enjoyed Cataclysm personally. So while I'm probably not going to be playing it because I'm on beta and doing beta stuff, the Cataclysm Time Walking is going on. Nothing really to talk about as far as Classic WoW goes. Just that's the kind of thing with Classic is there's not constant stuff happening. It's just kind of you log in and do the raids, or you log in and do your PvP or whatever you're doing, and that's about it. So nothing new to report there at all. Me personally, I'm just log in, do the raids, whatever, have fun for a few hours, no big deal. As far as beta goes, Mythic Plus testing is back on the table. My last video was about Mythic Plus testing. I actually wanted to put out a video on Sunday about Mythic Plus testing, and I wasn't able to. Just real life stuff got in the way. I have that video could still come out before this one releases. I record this early. I always mention this. I record this on Monday and then release it on Tuesday. So if there's ever any big news like on Monday evening or something, it's never in this video, unfortunately. But the Mythic Plus testing, if I do that in the afternoon or something like that, then maybe I'll be able to actually load that up before that. If not, that'll be coming out sometime Tuesday or Wednesday. More Mythic Plus testing with trying out some different builds that some commenters mentioned. I've been playing with Radiant Decree already, which was like the biggest thing. And then someone specifically asked me to try out a burn build, so I will be trying that out and then making a video about the two things there. So that will be coming. And yeah, so Mythic Plus is happening. Normal raid testing. It seems like the raid is pretty much mostly liked. except for the boss before the second to last boss. And it's very much like Razor Gore in Blackwing Lair. If you know the first boss there, where you have to destroy the eggs, I say it's very much like it. Conceptually, it's very much like it. It's like 100 times more difficult, but conceptually, it's very similar to that. A lot of the high-end raiders specifically have come out against it. I did test that fight on Heroic, and I didn't have that much of an issue with it. I do think some of the mechanics were I do think it is a little bit gimmicky in some way. Basically, the way to clear the eggs, I didn't really like that mechanic. It seemed like it was constant. It was like too punishing. Like the thing that cleared also does a bunch of damage to your group, and it's just like it seemed like to be a bit much, honestly. But that would have been my complaint with it. Whereas other people's complaints with it is that it's like an ads fight for a second to last boss, which then you have to tune it hard because it's the second to last boss. And then it becomes like this really super difficult fight because it's not just like you just burn down the ads. It's that the ads are really, really strong. And it becomes like this whole cluster, I suppose, is like the fear, like Stone Legion generals. So I would totally understand that. But I just generally conceptually, I didn't mind the fight at all. I wouldn't mind if like we have to break the eggs or whatever. We don't break the eggs, we get some sort of penalty, right, for not breaking the eggs. But maybe you don't need as many ads, or maybe the ads themselves don't have to be as impactful, something like that. So I'd be fine with that. But of course, that is most of the fight as well. So maybe it does need a little bit of a redesign. I'm not sure. Or maybe they can just make it an easier boss and put it towards the beginning of the raid, something like that. Who knows? We'll see where they are on that. But raid testing's been going on, and like I said, it's mostly been a very, very liked raid. It's just that one boss has had some qualms, specifically with the high-end community, and I haven't really seen any takes about it for good or bad from like regular people who have tested it. And there's plenty of regular people who have like tested it to some degree on the beta, and I haven't really seen any takes from them about it at all. So it's just kind of like the high-end community saying, hey, that we don't like this. So it's one of those things where, do you listen to them? Is the fight actually fine on normal and heroic, and most people won't care? I don't know, but I guess if your only feedback is bad feedback, maybe you should listen to it. If the people who did it, who are not high end, don't care to say that it's good, maybe then that means it's not that. Even if it's either mediocre to them or whatever, so maybe it deserves getting looked at either way. Who knows? Other than that, on the beta, just waiting for more news, more updates, more class updates, more talent tree updates, all that kind of stuff. Constant stuff happening there over on the beta, of course. Usually get like a build on Thursday. Sometimes you get a build on Tuesday. And then, of course, we're going to have the pre-patch coming out next week. They already did the invasion testing. I did not get a chance to do that, unfortunately, on the beta. Again, IRL getting in the way a little bit there. But yeah, definitely looking forward to all that. So I'll have more. If the only thing to do is Mythic Plus, I'll have more Mythic Plus content coming out for Ret Paladin specifically throughout the week. Most of my beta content will be that. Obviously, if they do testing for the invasions again, I would love to actually try those out and see what they're like. But I did not get a chance to do it last time, so very unfortunate for me. But yeah, that's it for this week. 1 week until pre-patch, guys. So I think a lot of people are going to be kind of, sulking back into retail a little bit to try out their characters with the new talents and stuff like that. It'll be a pretty exciting time. There's going to be a lot of complaints. There's going to be a lot of excitement. There's going to be a lot of like overhyping. There's going to be all spectrums, right? You're dooming, from dooming to super excited and everywhere in between. So that's where we'll be at 1 week from today. Yeah, that's it for this one. As always, I do ask you to please subscribe to the channel. It helps me out so much. Other than that, everybody, have a good one.